Hello, this is a short video about a new option subject you can take in Year 10 called Sociology. So what is sociology? You could say history is the study of the past, sociology is the study of now and this thing that we call society. We look at how people fit into the key institutions and we look at how that affects individuals and different social groups. It's based on academic research, so we find out a little bit about how do we research human beings. We can't put you in a test tube, so how do we investigate this thing called society? And we look at this from the different perspectives of different groups of sociologists because they definitely don't agree with each other. We also look at how you as individuals can relate to this key thing called society and the different experiences that different groups have. So the key institutions that we look at and are all part of the things in our society are family, education, the welfare state system, the mass media, crime and deviance, and we are all part and parcel of this thing that makes society, as are these institutions. So we look at how different groups are affected within these key institutions and we look and see whether or not people have exactly the same life chances. The course is linked to what will happen in the exam. So in the exam you will have 2 papers. They are 1 3/4 hours each. And we then look at things to do with what is society. We look at the nature-nurture debate. We look at, are we born a certain way or is it our environment that affects us? We look at how do we research things and we look at the topic of education and the family. Then when we get into towards the end of year 10 and into 11, we concentrate on paper 2, which is then linked to crime and deviance, where we explore all the different reasons why different groups might commit crime. We look at how the police might police certain situations and how that affects crime statistics. Then as a sort of a last overarching unit, we look at the concept of inequality and we will bring in lots of knowledge that we've picked up on the course into this, where we really question the idea, do we have equal life chances? And then we go back to research methods where we will apply the research, doing a questionnaire to, for example, how do we actually find things out if you have a given scenario. So it's called applied research. So some of the key questions that over the 2 years that you get to study sociology with us are very exciting, because obviously this thing called society that you live in is not something that is simple. So we might look at, why is it that boys commit more crime than girls? Because that's what the statistics tell us. We might go back to looking at, are men and women really equal? So we will look at, do mums and dads do exactly the same amount of housework in the home? And you can look at, what goes on in your households to see whether or not that backs up what the actual sociologist said. And, as I said before, we would look at things, do we have the same life chances and opportunities? And that runs throughout the whole course. So we like to use pair work, discussions, obviously debates, documentaries. Everybody gets a textbook, so we try and encourage you to do something called flipped learning, where you can read ahead, you can make notes on things that we will then do in class so that you can consolidate your knowledge. But you do have to write essays. It's a GCSE with essays, so I'm going to point that out to you now, that you have to be able and want to write essays and do reading, because that is important in sociology. We have very high expectations of you and we want you to participate. So we want you to be interested in the world you live in, and if you're interested in the news and what's going on, and that's that thing we call current affairs, then in return you can get absolutely brilliant results. And we are a department that gets outstanding results year on year, and both at GCSE and A level. So if you want to do well, you can do well. So a brief bit of information about our exams. We use EduQuas. It is a 100% written exam paper, and at the end of the 2 years you will do 2 1 3/4 hour papers, and that's made up of some short answer questions leading into longer answer questions leading into an essay. So there is a lot to do in the exam, and the assessment is developed into more simple answers, then leading into what we call the higher order thinking answers with analysis and evaluation. And that's a skill that is very useful for you in other academic subjects, and then when you want to go on to do A levels, if you can get this these skills sorted at GCSE, then you tend to do pretty well at A level. So, what the future if you do sociology? Well, really, you can do anything, because it's a subject that fits in with every kind of work possibly imaginable. Lots of sociologists are obviously interested in people, so they go into the caring professions, but you learn how to be critical thinkers, so journalism and the law are very important. You learn about the key institutions like media, criminal justice system, political system. So if you're interested in those kind of things, they're the kind of jobs you can do. And just as a little aside, here are some major famous US sociologists. So Michelle Obama, Barack's wife, Ronald Reagan, an ex-prime minister, Robin Williams, we can see here, and Martin Luther King, the civil rights leader. They all studied sociology. So, you know, you too could be a prime minister one day of this country. So lastly, who should choose sociology? If you are interested in the world around you and you want to know more and you want to become a critical thinker and you don't want to take things at face value, then this is really the subject for you. If you want to work hard, then you will really love this subject. So if you need any more information, please come and find me, Miss Brown, or Miss Henwood, and I've put our email addresses on here. You can EduLink us and we can answer any more questions that you might have. And we look forward to having you and seeing you in September. Bye.